I have some Instagram tips for you. Now, I know not everybody loves Instagram, but I want to take a few moments and share with you some tips for being a little more successful on Instagram. And if you're one of those people that doesn't love Instagram, you don't want to be part of it, that's fine. But I ask you, in this day and age, you're watching a photography YouTube channel, you probably call yourself some type of photographer, why aren't you participating in the largest photocentric social network on Earth? Now, the most common reason I hear for why you don't do Instagram, it's a mobile photography site. You don't do mobile. You want to share your beautiful DSLR or mirrorless images, but Instagram doesn't create a way for you to drag and drop from your desktop. I don't think it's that many people these days that think it's a mobile-centric, but I do think a lot of people really still believe it's a hassle to get your images from Lightroom to Instagram, and it's not. Use Later.com. Later.com gives you an easy drag and drop interface from your computer, and at the end of this video I'm going to share my Lightroom export settings for all of this, but what I appreciate about Later is it gives you that drag and drop easiness and an interface for writing your captions and hashtags, all on a desktop device, because if you're anything like me, you don't love typing on a small keyboard, and copying and pasting hashtags is a pain. The goal with hashtags is to get your photos in the top section. It's unlikely you're going to be successful at this goal if you only use the big popular hashtags. So mix it up. Use a few local, maybe even hyperlocal hashtags for your area. For example, here in Seattle, I'll use Seattle bloggers, Pacific Northwest, West Seattle. Those are all hashtags I use when I'm shooting in this area. I then add a few more of the more popular ones. Spend a few moments finding the popular ones that have a similar look and feel to your style. So if people come across them, they're going to be encouraged to follow. Now, you can put up to 30 hashtags. I think it looks cleanest if you put those in a separate comment below your post, and don't feel like you need to hit 30 all of the time. A related bonus tip, tag your location. It just adds one more way for people to stumble upon or discover your work. If you want to grow, you need to be consistent and selective. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The best way to make people think you're a fantastic photographer is to share only your very best work, and Instagram is no exception to that fact. In fact, I think it's even more so. Instagram really invites sharing just one photo at a time. So make sure it's your best work, and that work should have a fairly consistent theme and look. Be consistent, not only in the look, but in your post frequency. This is another reason why I use Later.com and love it. I can schedule posts days and weeks in advance, and I can do this with multiple posts. This helps me stay consistent and reduces the pressure of remembering to post, as Later reminds you with a notification on your phone. And you want to post at those times that are best for engagement with your audience. Usually evening and night posts do well. You do need to consider the time zone where the majority of your audience lives. You can track that through the semi-helpful analytics provided by Instagram if you've got a business account. Later.com has a very helpful blog post on how to track all of this. I'm going to link that right below this video if you want to dive in deeper. Or you can just pay for one of their business plans. They'll actually mark on the calendar the best times for your account based on past engagement. Now, it might seem like this whole video is sponsored by Later.com. They did not pay me to create this video, but they did let me have a trial of their business accounts, and I think they offer some pretty nifty tools that are helpful and valuable if you're serious about your Instagram growth. Interact with people. This is a social network after all, and you should treat it as such. Spend time thanking people that leave a comment on your image. Spend time commenting and liking on accounts that you enjoy, and be specific with your comments to avoid seeming like a bot. You can take it a step further. Find other people with similar follower accounts or whose work inspires you and that you connect with. See if they'll do a shout out on their page, and you can do a shout out on yours for them. If they're local, see if they want to go on a shoot with you. Spend some time together. Not only can you make friends and learn from each other, but support each other as well, and it's a great way for cross-pollination of followers. Use stories to remind people that you are alive and posting. Stories are a great way to share the in-between moments and to give your followers a heads up when you've got a new post. Some of you might be grumpy about the fact that they only last 24 hours and say, why bother? Well, they remind people when you've posted. And I've got an Instagram folder on my phone that's set to back up automatically to Google Photos. So anything I create on my phone through the Instagram stories, gets uploaded to my Google Photos where it stays around forever and ever and makes me happy. Make sure your profile is intelligent and shares a bit about you with a link to find out more or see more of your work. I might only partially connect with your images, but if you've written something that speaks to me, that's often enough of an incentive to follow you and see what you post in the future. I might also follow you if you're a consistent commenter. That's not part of this tip, it's just a reinforcement of tip number 5. Participate in our weekly Instagram challenges at PhotoRec.tv. You'll get shout-outs, you'll get noticed, and you're going to have fun while challenging yourself. You can find out more information about this at PhotoRec.tv/PRTV, but if you don't want to participate in our community, there are lots of other great communities out there. Thanks for sticking around. Let's take a quick look at my Instagram export settings in Lightroom. If I'm going to share a vertical image to Instagram, I will make sure that it's cropped to the 4:5, 8:10 aspect ratio. If I'm going to share a horizontal image, I really don't care. Just realize and recognize that the wider the image, the more you're going to be sharing real estate with neighboring posts. When I'm ready to export for Instagram, I go File, Export Preset, Insta Standard. That's my user preset for exporting to Instagram. Let's look at the settings. So that's in my user presets, Insta Standard. I have it export to a specific folder in Dropbox. This is nice because it syncs between multiple machines. I often use these images on Facebook. I will post directly to Facebook, not using the Instagram sharing. There is additional compression that happens and they don't look as good on Facebook if you share from Instagram versus posting directly to Facebook. And then I also can just pull them up and look at them or share them with friends as a very quick gallery. Now, I rename the file. Let me show you real quick. This is totally optional, but I have that original file name, plus the model I shot with and my exposure info. Oftentimes I like to post the exposure or the exif data along with the image, and this, as being part of the file name, is a helpful reminder of exactly what my settings were. The image format, JPEG. Quality, 80. Higher than that, and Instagram will compress it. Lower than that, and it doesn't look as good. I found 80 to be the sweet spot. At this time, September 2017, the largest size that Instagram will show is a 1080 by 1080 image. So I resized to fit the short edge 1080. That is a little bit bigger than it needs to be because your long edge on your landscape or your portraits are going to be longer than 1080. But as I said, I use it in multiple other ways, and so I found this to be kind of the sweet spot of still looking good on Facebook and other places that I'll post without being too big that Instagram will compress it more. I don't want it to be enlarged, and this number right here doesn't matter at all because we're not talking about printing, we're talking about posting online. Sharpen for screen amount low. If you do all of your sharpening in Lightroom in the details panel, then you should turn this off. I often leave the detail sharpening as the default amount, so I add a little bit more here in output. I do include all the metadata, making sure not to remove the location info, as that will often help Instagram's location algorithm find and suggest the places when I pull that location marker up. And I have it show in Finder when I'm all done. That nicely pops it up and allows me to drag over to later. If you make these settings that I've just shown right here, you can simply hit the Add button after you've done them all and say My Insta Preset. Now, let's cancel this. I go to File, Export Preset. My Insta Preset is all ready. It will automatically pop them into those folders, show you them in Finder once they're exported, and you can drag and drop them to wherever you want. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and come follow me on Instagram. I'd love to know your Instagram account. You can post those in the comments right down below. I'll be looking for a few standout accounts to follow and highlight in a future video. But as I said, frequent commenters on my pictures often get a follow back from me. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.